Hello, my name is Jeff and welcome to my first ever video from Flint Hills. And welcome to my little layout. This layout is actually a test layout which I've started to build. As I know nothing about DCC, I decided to start small and I've built this very small test track so I can make all my mistakes now before I build the much larger layout. The theme of the layout is based very loosely on modern day West Coast main line. I've always had a keen interest in model trains, and as a teenager I was a member of the Romford Model Railway Club, and later when I lived in Milton Keynes I was a member at Bletchley Park. Over the years I've made a few attempts at double O layouts in rooms and lofts, but with work, moving and life in general, the railway keeps finding its way back into a box, and that's where all my double O gauge stuff resides today. Never want to give up, I'm now ready to build again. As I said earlier, I've got this much larger layout design in my head, which I've had for about 30 years, which I am very keen to start on. Would be the first to admit that Flint Hills in its current form does not look much, but it's just what I've needed as a test track to allow me to run trains and develop my DCC knowledge. The much larger layout that I want to build actually incorporates a huge mainline station and goes through a main junction and then out, so it will connect all the different stations up and eventually will return to the mainline station. So this portable test track here I've built incorporates a lot of the features which I want to do on the much bigger layout with the mainline station, obviously a bit smaller, and where the trains can run out and eventually return. I know what you're saying, the signals are rather large. Yes, this is the typical eBay problem of they look good, but unfortunately they were overscale. But for what I need, they're absolutely perfect in testing the logic of DCC, and now I can replace these with the correct scale. So let's go back to the start and look what I did back in the beginning. So where do we start? Being an expert project manager, we start with a project plan, which you can see in front. So let's build a couple of boards, let's get some track laid, let's install some DCC control system, whichever that was going to be, get some point motors working and try and get the system to work via Wi-Fi. Let's install a reverse loop detection system, install some train detection capability and reporting for the lower track, and once we've cracked that, let's try and build the upper layer and replicate that. And then phase 6 was really to put some automatic signalling in place. Phase 7, let's get some automatic train control in there with perhaps iTrain or train controller. And phase 8 with some scenics, which was never really the priority, but I've now added that to the list. The baseboard itself was made very simply by getting some 9mm high quality ply from my local timber merchants and some sort of like 1x5 timber to frame it, which is these days is about 22mm by about 110mm. I did a nice simple frame, and I put some blocks in the corners for the legs, of which I'd made 2 of these so I could put them together, making the overall size approximately 8 foot by about 2.5 foot. So in new money that's 2.4 meters by about 74 centimeters. I put adjustable feet on all the legs so they could be fully adjustable. So each of the 2 boards can be completely pulled away and worked on separately. The original plan was to put the layout in the shed or the garage. But as you can probably see, it migrated into the lounge, much to my other half's annoyance. The actual layout design I did using a software called AnyRail 6. It shows the upper level, which is all in yellow with the mainline station, with the train coming out. going down, and would come round the red line with the sidings at the back. The train would then continue round the red loop as a tail chaser if I wished, or it would cross over using the loop back route and then onto the blue line, and then the blue could go round and round as another tail chaser, or then it could return back up the up line back into the mainline station, and that is actually what I've built today. What's very handy with any rail is that you can actually print it out at full size and lay this right across your boards, which is what I did in the lounge, as you can see, and it was absolutely ace for just marking out exactly where the tracks are going to get all those nice curves in the right places. Got some track laid, and we were able to run a train round the loop on just basic DC. The track itself is Pico, and I used the code 80. Perhaps I will go code 55 when I do the much larger layout. I've used large and medium radius points, mainly infill frog, but I do have the odd electro frog one in there again, just as part of the testing and development of my own knowledge. Track was laid using track pins to start with, and then I used Copydex glue, but I seem to have gone back to using track pins because it does give a little bit of movement, which is quite handy when things get hot and cold. When it came to choosing the control system, the ESU and the Roco Z21 system were my initial thoughts. But just when I was getting ready to make a purchase, the DigiKeys DR5000 control system was demonstrated to me, and that left me in no doubt that this was the control system that I wanted to use and to develop my knowledge around. Staying with DigiKeys, I purchased their accessory decoder, the DR4018, which I use for point control, changing signals, and also for eventually switching lights on and off. For train detection, I stayed with DigiKeys and got their 4088LN LocoNet option. I've also progressed from this now to the DR5088, which is their Railcom option, and that gives me a great advantage of actually seeing the decoder on the layout of the train. For point motors, I've installed the Cobalt analog IP point motor, and later on I've also installed their digital IP point motor. Sorry for the quality of this video. This was some early running with the DigiKeys software using an Android iPad just to get things tested and working, and yeah, I was really pleased with this. I was doing this video actually for a member at my local Baseboards Model Railway club who was interested in what I was up to. This little video now seems a long time ago, but it was the first time I'd actually got the trains to run using the points. Now here I'm using the Z21 software on the iPad to control the point motors at each end, and with a quick click of the icon there, it changes both ends of the points, allowing the train to just run through. This seems a long time ago now, but it was really exciting at the time for me. So that's it for today's video. I thought I'd just leave you with some running shots of the layout as it is today. As you probably noticed, I have moved out of the lounge now and I'm actually in the spare bedroom. It's fully running automatically using iTrain. There's the network management train now coming into looks like platform 3. As you can see, there's loads and loads of scenic work to be done on the layout. I've just actually started to do the trunking and putting some orange wires through. Got a bit of another TMD going on there. very unusual that all three trains have decided to come into the main station all at the same time. I seem to have had a capacitor problem in one of my coaches there, so that's another job for another day, is to sort of resolve that flickering light. Having watched John Warner's videos this morning, I'll probably reinvest in some new coach lighting. That's Piccadilly. There's those awful bright signals, but they're doing the job. And those trains just go round to a very small sort of like fiddle yard, but it's just a holding area, so the trains are not constantly just tail chasing round. There is a bit of a pause between them, and it just parks them up round the back there. It means I can run a through train if I wish to, or I can pause the train. I've even put some little lights in the track there, so I can tell which trains are leaving and departing when I'm standing there. This is iTrain. This is what's running the actual layout. You can actually see the layout and actually see the trains progressing around the layout, what's moving where. You can actually see the state of the signals as well. You can actually throttle the trains from there and do it manually if you wish. I've just put it into full automatic whilst I'm videoing. It's one of the little scenic areas I'm just been working on there as a network rail maintenance depot with some cars and some spares in there. There's going to be a little car park down below. Anyway, that's it for today. So if you like, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll try and put some more videos out showing the rest of the layout later on. Take care, stay safe.